My name is Babita. I am an assistant professor in MCA department at Akgec Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So today we are going to start a new lecture series which is on IoT, Internet of Things. This subject is derived from the MCA 4th semester and the code is KCA 043. So basically this lecture is beneficial for the MCA students second year. So let's get start. Today is the lecture and the topic is M2M architecture. So basically it is the topic of IoT. As you know, IoT is the Internet of Things. Basically, if I'm talking about the main origin of the IoT, it just similar to the internet, but in the internet, maybe human beings are connected to together to communicate with each other. But basically, in IoT, only the things are connected to each other with the network, or you can say with the internet, and for sharing the information and some data. So basically if we are talking about the in depth of the IoT, we will decide a topic M2M, that means a machine to machine communication, which is the we can say the subset of the IoT. So on the completion of this lecture, learner will learn about the IoT and its components and M2M communication, how M2M communication is implemented in the IoT, and the architecture of the M2M communication, and some layers which we'll explore in this lecture series of M2M communication. And after that we will talk about some application area where we implement the concept of M2M communication. So let's get start with the basic definition and basic key terms of the IoT. As you know, IoT is a Internet of Things. I just give the brief description about the IoT, right? So what do you mean by this Internet of Things? So basically here we can say this is configuration of internet. As previous, we will study just like internet helps to communicate, helps to connect different kinds of devices or different kinds of means systems with each other to communicate with each other, right? So here the communication is go through with between the things and without. The speciality of this particular technology is this is implemented without human intervention, right? Basically all things are done in a IoT without human interpretation. That means human are not interpreting the communication between things. The things automatically communicate with each other through the internet. This is the IoT. If I am talking about the components of the IoT, so there are some key terms, or there are some basic key components which are helps to implement the concept of IoT. In which we will talk about the basic component, that is the sensor, right? So sensor is a device that sense the environment or take some information around the we can say the surroundings in terms of temperature, in terms of humidity, in terms of air, in terms of heat, in terms of we can say human temperature. So basically all kinds of information which is sensed by the sensors to collect as a information, and this particular information is derived for the purpose of the decision making. So IoT helps to overcome the problems which are arise through the environment, and which we cannot observe by the computers and the human beings. So basically that kind of information is captured by the sensors. Next we will talk about the actuators. So basically, actuators is a device that perform the action on the collected information by the sensors. So basically, if I am talking about the actionable performance of the IoT is done through the actuators. Next, we will talk about some communication network. And here basically the network is maybe kind of a wireless, yeah, we can say wired or wireless. If I am talking about the wired, that means we will talk about the Ethernet, or you can say WLAN, and LoRa, that is the long range area network, right? And wireless, if I'm talking about the wireless communication network, that means we will talk about the Bluetooth, Zigbee, and Wi-Fi, and WSN, right? So these kinds of networks or these kinds of technology helps to communicate in the Internet of Things, right? So basically these are this is the all basic terms and all basic concept which is explored in the IoT, and we will move on the our today's topic, that is the M2M communication in IoT. So let's get start. Basically, first of all, we come to know the difference between the IoT and M2M communication. Basically, the M2M communication is implement between the machine to machine. Here, what is the meaning of machine to machine? If I am talking about the specific communication, so basically it is the device to device. If I am talking about the, yeah, we will explore this concept by taking an example. Just for example, in an environment, here we have some sensor device, and these sensor device collect information all around surroundings. Just for example, it also collect the information from this, it also collect the information from this, and it also collect the information from this. There is a no specific node which is communicating with each other. All the nodes are connecting to this particular Internet of Things concept, and these Internet of Things access the information from all these nodes or all these things. So basically this is the concept of Internet of Things. But I am talking about, just for example, home street line. Yeah, we can say the street lines, lights. So, as you see in your surroundings, street lights automatically on and off when the day is darker. They automatically on, and as the day lighten, so it automatically off. So this is the example between the this is the example of M2M communication. So basically what happened here, the machine, the light and the IoT system is communicate with each other automatically without human intervention. There is a no human intervention, there is a no human interpretation, yeah, human guidelines to on and off, but machine are able to communicate with each other. As per the requirements, the light is on, and as per the requirements, light get off. This is the basic concept of machine to machine communication, right? So, in a machine to machine communication, the communication between the devices to device and free of any human intervention, right? So basically the human intervention मतलब कि यहाँ पे human का कोई भी means उसके अंदर कोई भी उसकी guidelines या उसका कोई भी interpretation नहीं रहता है, right? So basic the networking of machine. In other words, we can also say the networking of machine, yeah, you can say networking of devices for the purpose of remote monitoring and control data exchange. So what is the basic purpose behind the machine to machine communication? We want to monitor the situation, and we want to monitor the activities remotely. Remotely means that is automatically implemented, right? There is a no requirement of the human instructions, right? And control the data exchange. So basically what is the point of view to establish that kind of infrastructure and establish that kind of yeah, by using this kind of technology, we want to exchange the information between these devices and between these machines, right? And this concept is also known as the subset of the Internet of Things. That means we will call as the subset of, yeah, we can say machine to machine is the subset of the Internet of Things. Broadly, if I am talking about, this is the Internet of Things, right? And in this environment, we have a machine to machine communication, yeah, machine to machine environment or architecture, right? So this is the subset of IoT. Next, we will talk about machine communicating via communication protocol. As you know, we when we communicate on the internet, or we can say in the environment of the network, we have to use we have to implement some set of rules, and these rules in the term of computer network and in the term of network internet is known as the protocols. So basically, protocol is nothing but it is some set of rules, right? And these rules are applied to communicate between different machines or different devices synchronously or smoothly. That means if we want to do seamless communication between these machines, that means we have to perform, we have to follow some set of rules, and this set of rules is known as a protocols. So basically, in the M2M communication, we use some communication protocols, and these protocols may be a Zigbee, maybe a Bluetooth, and etc. Right? We have other than also in this concept. Right? Next, we will talk about some protocols are used for connectivity between the M2M nodes within a M2M area network. Basically, what we talk about the M2M area network. Here we have some different kinds of devices, right? And these different kinds of devices may also belongs to a M2M area network. That means we have a first area, and another we have also some devices through which we are connecting, and these area network are connecting with each other through the M2M gateways, right? So basically about the M2M gateways we will talk about in next slide, but basically if I want to connect two M2M areas, that means we have to use the M2M gateways. Basically, what is the function of the gateways? It connects to area networks, M2M area networks. Next, we will, the communication network may either the wired or wireless. So basically, as per the internet, internet may also the wired and wireless. Same as M2M communication will be wired or wireless. If I am talking about the wired, that means you are talking about some like Ethernet, right? If I am talking about the wireless, that means you can take the example of Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and Zigbee. And in terms of these, M2M are also network use either proprietary or non-IP based communication protocols. So this is the basic communication network uses IP based network. Next, we will talk about the M2M area network use the M2M gateways for the connections, right? If we want to connect two area M2M area network, that means we have to use a M2M gateways. So this particular concept is implemented totally for seamless communication and interoperability between the devices and applications. So this is the all basic about the M2M communication. Next, we will talk about some key components of the M2M communication. Yeah, we can say M2M machine to machine architecture. If I am talking about the M2M communication, that means you will understood machine to machine communication, right? So basically here we have a four key components in which we will talk about sensors, data processing unit, communication network, and software application. For your kind information, I must telling you the whole internet, IoT, Internet of Things, these kind of these particular key components must be repeatedly explanation will be going on, राइट मेरे कहने का मतलब है कि यही सेम हमारे की पॉइंट्स रहेंगे और की टर्म्स रहेंगी जो होल आईओटी के स्टडी और सेशन पीरियड में मस्ट बी रिपीटेड portion, right? So basically if I'm talking about the sensor are the crucial in a M2M architecture. Basically if I'm talking about the observation and some environmental information, that will only and only accessed by the sensors, because there is the communication between the things. There is no communication between the human being, and things are used to observe the situation, to observe the environment, and to observe the external influences. So basically sensor is the key concept or key point or key component of the IoT and also M2M architecture, right? So basically these devices track various matrices like temperature, humidity, motion, pressure. All these kind of information is captured or accessed by the sensors. Data processing unit, if I am talking about the data processing unit, it handles this task by analyzing the raw data to turn it into a actionable insight. So that means when we collect the huge amount of information by using sensors, but not necessary all the information are beneficial for us, we have to pre-processed and we have to filtering all kind of information, and we are using only the beneficial information. So basically if I collect the some actionable information, or we can say some beneficial information, so it is undergoing, it is the process of the data processing, right? And this particular action is performed by the data processing unit, in which we will talk about the actuators also. And communication network, if I'm talking about the communication network, we ensure that the data can flow smoothly. So what is the basic purpose by using the communication network and by using the communication protocols? Just we want to improve the communication, and we improve the data flow between the devices. So basically this is the main reason if I using the communication network. So we want to smoothly flow the information between the devices, from one device to another device. Or we can say also the cloud platforms. Basically if I'm talking about the where the data stored in the IoT, it always stored in a virtual environment, and this virtual environment also known as a cloud, right? And allowing for real time updates and remote monitoring. If I'm talking about the just for example, at your home you also use the smart home technology, and you can access every information at your office place, right? You are at your office place, but you get all updates of your home at your mobile applications, right? So this is the IoT and this is the M2M machine communication, right? And next we will talk about the software application. So basically what is the need of software application? Through which we access the information and through which we see the interface where we get the information. All things are available on your application or on your software. So basically if I'm talking about the application may run on your mobile, your web platforms, or you can say on embedded systems, offering insights and control features and automations. That means say same thing, sorry, same thing, from your office place you can monitor and you can control your home activity by using the smart home technology. Next we will talk about the M2M architecture. So basically here we have some M2M nodes, that means we can also call as a devices, right, or you can say as a machine. So basically these are the nodes, like node 1, node 2 and node up to n, right, and these nodes are connecting to another node. So basically the connection between all these nodes implement the concept of communication, and these nodes also connect the internet domain. And here we have some key components on the internet domain. Basically the M2M architecture is divided into the 3 layers. First one is a M2M area domain, second one is your network domain, and third one is your application domain. So basically M2M domain you also call as the device layer, or you can also call as a physical layer, and network domain you talked about some network platform where we communicate, where we connect between, make the connection between the nodes and physical device and the application environment. So basically it is the intermediate layer. And next one is your application domain, or you can say the software application programs, or you can say the some mobile apps or your web platforms, right, just as previous we will discussed about. So this is the basic architecture of the M2M. So let's get explore this. M2M, yeah, here we have another key component, that is the M2M gateways. What is the basic functionality of the M2M gateways? M2M gateways is used to connect to M2M area network. Yeah, we can say the devices and internet applications, right? So to enable the communication between the M2M remote M2M area network and M2M gateways are used, and the communication between M2M nodes and the M2M gateways based on the communication protocol which are native to the M2M area network. Basically if I am talking about the native behavior of these nodes, so basically what is the native behavior? The native behavior of these nodes may be any kind, but basically if this particular node connecting with this particular application, so here we have some synchronization between both. So these synchronization is done through the M2M gateways. M2M gateways act as a proxy performing translation from or to native protocols to or from internet protocols. Just as previous I told you कि जब हमारे पास किसी भी टाइप का डिवाइसेस है बट वो किसी पर्टिकुलर नेटवर्क के साथ कनेक्ट होना चाहता है, तो बेसिकली देयर इज सम काइंड ऑफ सेट ऑफ रूल्स अप्लाई फॉर कनेक्शंस या फॉर communication establishment. So this particular task or this particular implementation is done through the gateways, right? Next we with the M2M gateways, each node in M2M area network appears as a virtualized node for external M2M area network. So basically if I am talking about the existence of these nodes are just like a virtual, that means there is not exactly exist, but we feel that there is a exist, right? This kind of implementation and this kind of realization is known as a virtual. Next we will talk about application, yeah, we can say where we M2M communication or M2M area architecture is implemented. Just for example, in your smart cities, right? So basically we have a lots of example where we are using this kind of infrastructure in these kind of technology. And if I'm talking about the smart assist tracking services, and if I'm talking about the supply chain management solutions, and if I'm talking about the wearable technologies, and if I'm talking about the smart homes. So all these areas that specifically based on the M2M communication. How can you understand smart cities? For example, the sensor in the street light can communicate with each other to optimize energy consumption and detect faults. So basically how if just for example your street light also active in the day. So basically what is going on, what it happened here, there is a wastage of your power consumption. What is the basic requirement? The basic requirement is that the street light definitely on in the night, but in the case of day it automatically off. If it will done, so it is optimize the energy. So another example of the M2M machine communication. Next we will talk about the healthcare sector. There we have some wearable devices, and that wearable devices helps to detect or helps to transmit data to the healthcare center, or you can say healthcare providers, to monitor the patient condition or it's a health and prevent disease, right? And if I'm talking about in manufacturing sector, so basically here also M2M communication helps, in which a machine can communicate automatically without human intervention to each other to optimize the production processes and reduce downtime, right? So these are the examples where we use the concept. Here we talked about some layer of the M2M architecture. Basically here we have a 4-layer: application layer, data management layer, network layer, and perception layer. In the last previous diagram, we will talk about some M2M communication domain. So basically, we explore this particular concept in a depth, and we will understood the internal layer of the M2M architecture. So what had happened? At the application layer, or you can say at the you can say some software layer. It is the basic, we can say the top layer of the M2M, and it's talk about the application and services resides in this layer, and it's helps to helps in the many application areas. Just for example, we will talk about the industrial monitoring to smart home automation. So basically these are the application area of the M2M, and the application layer is mainly responsible for that kind of responsibilities. And basically it access and manage IoT resources and data, and the application layer communicates with the service layer. Basically what is the service layer? Service layer is some kind of activities that is performed by the M2M architecture. And the basic role of the IoT M2M application layer is to integrate the IoT devices with apps, such as connecting smart devices to your phone. So basically what happened in today's era, we control all things through our mobile phone, right? Just for example, smart home application allow user to control the thermostat and lights, and industrial dashboard helps to monitor the machine performance, and in a healthcare application track patient health remotely, right? And this layer is essential for making M2M technology useful and accessible to business and consumers. Next, we will talk about the network layer, or you can say network domain. It covers the communication between M2M gateways and M2M application. As previous in slides, we saw this is the M2M domain, you can say the device, and this is the M2M application, right? And this particular connection is done through the gateways. And basically, it is responsible for data transmission between devices and application. It may be wired or wireless. If I'm talking about the wired, as we previously told about you, Ethernet and fiber optic. Ethernet, that means is the wired connection. We have to set up an infrastructure for making the connection. If I'm talking about the wireless, we will take the example of Wi-Fi, LTE and 5G networks, right? And in a M2M gateways is used mainly to aggregate the data which is collected from the different or you can say the multiple devices and send it to the application domain. And in this at this layer we have used the LPWAN, that means low power wide area network. This particular area network or you can say the area network protocol is used for long range and low power communication, right? And this layer ensure that the data flow seamlessly between the devices. The main purpose of using implementing network domain, we want to ensure that the data is flow seamlessly, smoothly, right? And next we will talk about the service layer. This layer acts as the backbone of the M2M. That means we can say as a backbone of the M2M, because all things are depends on the services provided by the technology, and the used to managing the essential functions like data collection, security and device management. That means all kinds of responsibility and all kinds of necessary actions is implementing by this layer. It ensured that the data from sensors is stored properly, and also check the only authorized device can communicate through the security and authentication protocols, and connecting devices receive necessary update and troubleshooting support. And this layer is play an important role in maintaining the reliability and security of M2M communication. Next, we will explore some key application area where we implement the concept of M2M. In the case of metering application, just for example, you have a smart meter, and this smart meter automatically update about your electricity units, and meanwhile including primarily remote meter management and the data collection for energy consumption in the electricity utility sector. If I am talking about the remote monitoring, that means we include some remotely updates about patients, about any persons which we have a prime for we can say the prime example. Next, we will talk about the fleet management. That means we are talking about some different kinds of applications that are related to data logging, goods and vehicle positioning. If I'm talking about the in a business, we want to track the position of a product. That means we will talk about the some goods and vehicle positioning, and that's all kinds of task is implemented by M2M communication. And security application are mainly those related to home alarms and smart business surveillance solutions. So all that kind of applications or that kind of services done through the M2M. And this particular video lecture is hopefully you like it, and thank you so much.